Quiet on the set.
Camera speed.
Sound production, take one.
Action!
All systems are go right now. AKAPADers, we gotta talk about this. I'm putting this out. I'm doing a little bit of a pause, but I'm putting this episode out almost immediately because I'm just like heated, or I don't know. I'm just like flustered from earlier tonight because it's late at night. I just watched the final episode, Alien Earth. All of these things, right? Like going into this series, we have to be honest. We had ideas. We had thoughts on what this was going to be. Going back to Alien 3, part of Rennie Harlan. This is the guy that directed The Adventures of Forrest Fairlane and Sylvester Stallone's Cliffhanger and the second Die Hard movie. He was going to make the next Alien movie, and at the time it was a perfect pairing. This is like Cutthroat Island, Rennie Harlan, and at that point it was Earth. It was on Earth. Everyone can hear you scream. That was the original pitch. It was the planet Earth, and the alien had very similar to the advertising we saw for this, where the alien's dome is like merging with planet Earth, right? It's like so surreal looking. Great imagery. But we didn't get that. We got the David Fincher Alien 3. The origins of that movie, right? It's right. We all know the lore. Let me tell it to you guys. Alien 3, wooden monk Earth. That was like the starting point for that. It was going to be a wooden world, a wooden planet made by monks, and the alien was going to be running around that. But then we get this movie. It's like we get a movie with Alien 3. I don't think we get like there's science fiction there, but the human element in Alien 3 is something I enjoyed more and more as I've gotten older and watched and rewatched that movie. Just talking to you about it makes me want to watch Alien 3. And then, there's the producer's cut, there's different versions, there's different alien origins. And the whole thing with Alien 3, just to touch on that, right? Like, people are just hung up over Newton and Hicks dying, and I just don't care. It got to the point where I'm like, I just don't care. I'm here for the movie. Aliens, whatever. Okay. I think that's the frame you have to be in to truly appreciate and enjoy Alien 3. But I understand the pushback. So it's been a while since we were waiting for Alien Earth, like the alien xenomorph creature running wild on Earth, and we kind of all know the outcome just from seeing how destructive the creature is, even within Prometheus. Like, the cells of this thing, if they get out, kill you. And then we go to the comic book world. In the comic book world, it's the Earth in this, because the Dark Horse comics expanded on aliens. They sequelized it. They made a long continuity. It's called Earth War. And going into the guts of the origin of some of this, not quite clear. I know there's like YouTube channels that they add a lot of supposition through like what's inside the comics and what's between some of these mini-series, because that's the way it was structured. It wasn't a regular 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sequentially numbered mini-series. The Dark Horse comics were continuity-based mini-series that just came out in order. So the Alien Earth it was called Earth War in Dark Horse, was that the aliens had taken over Earth, or large portions of it, and they made it a giant humidor, and they were just breeding. And then there was like a hive, like a true hive mentality. There was a shared consciousness of the xenomorph, and that consciousness was connected to
Roll
Ripley
sound.
and
Sound production,
let
take
me
2.
cut in. Sorry, AKA Powders. I know it's such a hot, passionate episode, but I'm breaking the flow real quick just to remind you guys. If you want to support me, one of the best, easiest, and free ways to do it, leave a comment, give me a like. I know there's someone out there that you know that loves film as much as I do, that love the film industry as much as I. Show this to them. Comments, likes, and reviews, positive or negative, it doesn't matter. We need to increase our reach, and to do that requires your involvement in everything that I do. We're linked, we're forever bound. You're the membrane, I'm the muscle. So guys, let's just do it. One review. Do you have it in you? Newt. Now, It was more connected to Newt because they couldn't use a Ripley character. And Sigourney Weaver had some say in that. Which is, right, that's kind of cool. So they go all in. So the early Dark Horse comics that sequelized Aliens was this giant epic with Newt. And it's wild stuff. It's one of the reasons why it's wild. There's holes like within some of these explanations. We don't see everything happening. We just know that Earth is overrun by aliens. So, and you know, from my perspective, you know, we see some of Alien Earth and it looks a little like tropical and newer, and we have guys running around with guns, like all of this stuff, right? But you're like, all right, like, but the alien's going to end up in this environment. The alien's going to end up in this world. And then that first episode gave us this corporate war, which is like, you know, like, it's cool. Do it. And then we have these cyborgs versus synths. And then from like early on, I said this. I'm confused with the importance. Why would anyone, even all these other alien species, like why does anyone care about this stuff? When you're you're already immortal, you can transfer consciousness from the human mind into a synthetic body. Well, who cares about the xenomorph? Why would they trick the Nostromo? Why would like, I don't understand. And then we get, I want to say it was maybe around episode 6 that I knew that they were not going to be able to land this plane. Like, there was too many things that I felt like had to happen for some type of significant resolution within everything Alien. And I'll cite myself. I feel like we are in a little bit of an Alien Predator renaissance. We have multiple Predator projects coming. We have somewhat of the next Predator movie is somewhat of an Alien World Predator crossover. Awesome. We have animation. We have a series. We have new movies. It's somewhat of, and even on the comic book front, I mean, people are loving these newer crossovers. With, you know, Spider-Man versus Predator and you know, Avengers versus Aliens, and it's just cool stuff. We're in a little bit of a you know, if you want to call it an alien universe renaissance. This show, science fiction television usually isn't perfect. I think that's one of the reasons why The Mandalorian blew so many people away so early, because it just hit all those beats and it felt like Star Wars, and people just couldn't get enough of it. Science fiction television traditionally is a hard shell to crack. It's also traditionally like a dumber version of serialized entertainment, but there's a little bit of like a stylistic flow within the episode. Man, that is a platitude. To where like things happen, things move along, but we have characters that we like, and they're kind of doing silly, stupid things. And I'm even going back to Star Trek, Deep Space Nine, and Babylon 5, and even, you know, Apple Plus's Foundation, where from episode to episode, you're just like, like, what are we doing here? Like, you kind of say that to yourself a lot. So we expect that. But we did get a wonderful, like, position and start with Alien Earth. Like, the first 2-3 episodes, we're learning about everything that's happening. I like the characters and the casting, and the Boy Cavalier character, like all of these things, and his like bald-headed henchman, like it's like all of this stuff, and everything with Wendy, and the way we're putting it to Peter Pan and Timothy Olyphant with Kirsch, like such a cool like synthetic or android like character. And we get this corporate positioning, and you're pretty much like, all right, like where all go. But then the series, it legitimizes, right? Like the alien itself in Alien Earth is almost like a puppy. It's weird. The girl can talk to it, which is very cool, by the way. I love that hook, and that's a little bit of what science fiction does, where like when it doesn't quite work, there are so many interesting elements to pull out of it, because in a way science fiction, and I know that this is a wild thought, like science fiction can science fiction itself, meaning that the creators they expand, they put ideas into it, as science fiction does compared to the real world. Like we're putting ideas into it, and getting narrative flows and structures around this is tough. This whole point of this show really is about being able to control the alien. Maybe I'm coming around to like the point. So Wendy can talk to the aliens, they can control the alien xenomorph, they can capture it. They're well aware of these other creatures that maybe could contend with the xenomorph. So there's a little bit of a alien like hierarchy when it comes to species of deadliness. But maybe they need more. They need more xenomorphs to weaponize it. And now the kids took over the kingdom, and they're going to set out to get it. And maybe that leads into the Nostromo, right? Get the alien to weaponize it, which is pretty much always like the human side of that plot point. I think overall, even going back to Prometheus, the point of a lot of it is to weaponize this thing. And the hubris of the story, or the epic, because we have so much alien stuff to go through. it's truly epic. That this is a force of nature from hell, and you're not going to be able to contain it, going all the way back to Prometheus, before the creation of mankind, right? Like before Earth, in a way. So there's a lot of heat around this show. I do feel like you wanted something more to come out of this series. I don't feel like anyone got it, and I at this point I'm aligned with a lot of what's being said online right now, because I think there is an air of disappointment around the show. Talking to you guys though, and letting my brain work, I get maybe what they're leaning into with the ending. But we would have to see that. I mean, like, that should have been the ending. They take over the company, they kill Boy Cavalier, and they set out to capture more of them. And then you'll be like, holy crap, that explains so much in Alien. Maybe they're leaning into season 2 for that. I would expect we will get a season 2, because I think the show did very good number-wise. I could be wrong, but I'm just going off of what I see on social media. All right, guys. Some final thoughts on Alien Earth. For now, I feel like we're still not done with this show.
Okay, that's a wrap.